What's up, everybody? This is Ana Rosa Rizo Centino. Ella, she, her pronouns. Excited to be with you all again. And here is
Jess Alvarez Parfrey, she, they pronouns. How's it going?
So we just had a full moon eclipse, and Jess and I have been talking a lot about how this can be affecting us and our friends and family. So we were thinking of starting with a card pull. So Jess, would you like to lead us in that?
Yes, I will have some messages coming through for us with the cards, but very quickly before we do that, I wanted to just share that it was a eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the archer, centaur, associated with things like higher learning, travel, really interesting mutable fire sign and energy, bravery, just being kind of like a really loud, interesting energy at a party, if you could envision that. And I was just kind of reflecting on how this eclipse kind of made me feel, and it had a lot to do with just reclaiming my power, tapping back into creative energies, pursuits of the mind and the spirit that elevate us and remind us what we're here to do, and letting go of any need to make ourselves palatable or tone ourselves down or make ourselves small. We're releasing all of that kind of stuff and really fully stepping into our most authentic, real self. And that means not watering down the truth, but offering just real talk with compassion and with love. And I was able to attend a workshop with a really amazing astrologer who I follow and really love. His handle is Queer Cosmos, and he had a really awesome workshop on the eclipse. And something about straight talk leads to straight understanding, and that's something you want in your relationships. You want clarity, you want that clarity for yourself. So that's just been really sitting with me. So I'm going to grab the cards. Ana Rosa, how have you been feeling coming off of this eclipse? I'm really curious.
It's so strange. It feels like there are almost two forces at play. One in which I kind of want to stay consistent in where I am, and another one where it's like everything that has been pulling me down, to let it go and go toward that which is empowering. But I noticed that it's like a tug of war between those two forces within me. So I don't know why that's happening, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Do you know if you have any Sagittarius in your chart or where you might have some? Because I have Sagittarius in my Black Moon Lilith, and that's kind of like, especially for women, it's that divine feminine energy that has often been repressed or suppressed because of the influence of the patriarchy, fear of really fully stepping into our power in an unapologetic way. So I've really been feeling that energy and this feeling like almost a boost from it, but it is scary. So I do feel that part of me that wants to kind of hold on to things that give me a sense of security and stability. And given what we've been experiencing with the pandemic, it makes a lot of sense that we're craving that at the same time that we're wanting to bust out of our shell and do something completely new. So I hear you on that tension. That's powerful, but tension is growth. That's another thing I like to reflect on as well. Growth is not always easy or comfortable or nice. All right, how many cards should we pull on, Rosa? 3 or 5?
Let's do 5.
Okay, we'll do 5, and then I'll do 1 card from this really beautiful deck. It's from Mi Corazón Mexica, and it's a beautiful deck using some of the Aztec mythology and symbolisms. And it comes with a book that has the interpretations of the cards in both English and Spanish. So it's a really cool gift too. I'm going to be plugging just like small businesses and people that I really admire, because I think this is also a time to like invest in our friends and invest in people that give you inspiration. and invest in yourself too.
It is the holiday season, so people are thinking about buying gifts. So let's remember not to give our money to corporations that don't care about our communities. Um, and let's invest and vote with our dollars with, as you're saying, Jess, small businesses and worker cooperatives and companies that have some kind of social consciousness.
Absolutely. Totally. I've been trying to push myself to only buy things from California if I can for gifts, because it's so easy. Like I'm on Etsy, I'm like, oh, I could buy all these cute things, but they're coming from all over the place. Thinking about the supply chain issues and just the consolidation of power there, where you have like 3 cargo companies shipping all these things around the world. Try to buy local and regional as much as you possibly can. Support BIPOC, femme and women-owned businesses. Y'all know, like, there's amazing stuff happening with that money when you invest in those groups and those businesses. All right, I'm gonna grab 5. I think it's nice and shuffled. Do you have a question, Ana Rosa, or do you just kind of want to let it fly? Like, what is there anything specific, given what you've experienced about your experience with the new moon, the solar eclipse? Any questions?
Well, specifically our collaboration, we've been talking about some big things and would love to vaguely ask the universe for feedback on that specifically.
Okay, so new ventures. Ana Rosa is referencing this consulting / content cultural creation kind of project we've been dreaming about for a long time, and we've taken many twists and turns with this journey, but yeah, I think we're feeling really ready to bring this into the world. So let's hear about that. Let's hear about new growth, new ventures, new places we might travel, like Tulum.
Well, that's why I have this background here to
Yeah. She's like,
scheduled.
well, you got to get that passport. That's
True,
what.
that's on me too.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
5. Let's see what comes up. We got achiever.
Okay.
Man of worlds, making things happen, crossing the finish line. Success, ace of worlds. Okay, we got 2 worlds cards. That means the earthly plane, bringing things into being, manifestations. Master, sage of worlds. It shows a woman weaving, indigenous elder woman weaving a basket. We see a wheel. We see coins. Mastering our seasons, mastering our cycles. Really honing in on our gifts. 3 worlds cards in a row. So this is great. Okay. Emperor card. Boss energy, making shit happen. Oops, I need to be careful. And sun. What a beautiful pull. The sun card is all about that energy, that brilliance that makes things grow, sharing that energy, really not burning out, finding what makes that light sustainable. That's amazing. I feel very good with that pull. That's amazing. Emperor, Sun, Sage of Worlds, Ace of Worlds, Man of Worlds. Really finding a healthy relationship to our divine masculine energies. And regardless of how we identify, gender wise, like we all carry different dance and balances of our energy. And typically, like the divine masculine is associated with like the arrow. So the archer with Sagittarius, getting where you need to go, hitting the target, having that confidence. To go forward. That's really awesome. Success, achieve, master, emperor, sun. It's our time to shine, Ana Rosa. That's what this is telling me.
Absolutely.
And don't dull your shine for nobody. That's
You've
what
been
I'm
knowing this. I know we've been knowing this, but it helps to get affirmation.
absolutely. Those affirmations are needed. And also just like taking the time, this is part of like kind of what the sign of Sagittarius is also calling us to do, is to really find that connection to learning, self-mastery. So like whether that's through journaling, taking time at the end of the week. This is something I am actually going to try to implement and try to bring to my my coworkers as well. Like it can be really hard working remotely. So just finding ways, like maybe every 2 weeks, keeping a journal of how things are going so that you can make quick pivots and like reassess using new information. That's what I'm really feeling in this new year, is like getting our game like on point. We don't have time to mess around, and our time is extremely valuable. So we need to be clear about that with others.
I feel like the older I get, the more I realize how precious time is.
Oh my gosh. I remember my dad would tell me that. He's like, Mija, you're going to blink your eye and you're going to be this old. Because I was so eager to be an adult because I could do whatever I wanted. And he's like, you're going to blink and then this is going to happen. You're going to blink and then you're going to be an old lady. Like, be careful. Your time is so precious. This totally is.
Hence why living wages are important, right?
Yes. Yes. When you think about it, when you get paid an hourly wage, that's like, it's a value statement of what your life is worth according to each hour that you're spent in like laboring.
And those of y'all that are getting paid minimum wage, your boss is basically telling you that if they could pay you less, they would, but that's the absolute minimum that they could get away with paying you.
Yeah. Again, this like theme of investment, like not cutting corners, not allowing yourself to be exploited. And that for me, I'm also feeling like getting our organizing game down as well is really critical at this time. Ana Rosa, that's like one of the things that brought us together, is like, how could we best use our time on this earth, our experiences, and our passions to be of benefit to our communities? And I think a lot of us are really feeling that call, and it gets overwhelming in terms of like what step to take next. But have people who got your back and who bring good things into your life. Have that time that you need to dedicate to your family and protect that time if you can. That's one thing I'm trying to do too. Like really protect the family time
Yes.
as much as I can.
And no more frenemies.
No more frenemies, no more fake anything. Fake ingredients in your food, fake friends, fake nothing.
That's what I love about you, Jess. You're always authentic.
Thank you, Ana Rosa. I think you're one of the most authentic people that I know, and that's why I love you, and I think that's why we get along well. I'm not perfect. I never pretend to be, but I do always want to try to be myself, because I've been in moments, and I'm sure we all have, where we thought maybe if we weren't ourselves, we would be better, we would be more successful, or, you know, more lovable even. It's never worth it in the end to not be yourself and to not be fully authentic.
Yeah, because if people like that version of yourself that is not authentic, then even just that adulation or appreciation, after a while you realize, well, that's actually not really for me, because I was showing them a version of myself that was not myself. So you can't
Exactly.
really accept it in a way that feels good.
Totally. No, you were selling yourself away for validation and approval. And let me tell you, it doesn't work. It's going to eat away at your spirit. And that's something we really need to protect. And I want that for Easton too. So even with our little kids, like they're getting used to how to interact socially with each other on the playground, dealing with maybe a little bit more drama. Gloria's in first grade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Easton's in second, and they're already he tells me about little bits of drama that they have at school. And I'm just like, you know, sometimes you're going to have misunderstandings with your friends. That's normal, but talk about it. You know, don't hold grudges. Don't make them a bad person. Like, be honest. And if they still don't get it, or, you know, you're feeling like this isn't good for you, then you got to set a boundary. So teaching kids early about boundaries and just like how to respect each other, it's like
Super important.
super important.
I mean, you know, Gloria, she's so sweet. And so like with her lunch, there's friends that have been like pulling stuff that's not cute. Like they'll ask for a chip and then take the whole bag so that she doesn't get any. Or another kid that like tasted something that she had in her lunch and she said it tasted gross and spit it out. Like, you know, um, just like that kind of weird stuff. And of course, neither of these kids offered her to share anything of their lunches with her. It was
Nah.
just take.
Yep.
And I feel like when I look back at my life, I have been in so many situations where I allow people to take from
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, no, that's because I didn't know about boundaries. And so now in my 40s, I'm finally putting down boundaries. And because people are used to, well, some people, I feel like if you've gotten to know me in the more recent years, you know that like I'm better about boundaries now. But since I wasn't good about them before, some people are very surprised about me kind of setting boundaries.
Yeah.
And actually, you've taught me a lot about boundaries. So I really appreciate that. Um, and I think it's made our friendship so much stronger.
I thank you, Ana Rosa. And I think because when I reflect on how much I like love you and people in my life who I really care about, like I'm working on this slowly with like my family, for example, because that's a whole other thing. But when I really love someone, I want to be honest with them and I want them to be able to help me support me so I can be available. I can be my best self with them. And I really love how you've reassured me, like always tell me, you know, let's be honest or real with each other. That's so important. And I value that so much in our friendship, Ana Rosa.
Yeah, now we know each other so well that we can even tell from texts, like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Not telling me the full thing, so I need to ask a few more questions.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Which is wonderful. It's such a nice feeling to be able to have that. All right, I'm going to pick one of these from this beautiful deck. Okay, here's the card. It's like a staff's card. I think that's 5, so let me look that up. Báculos. 5 de báculos.
My hair is really big today.
I love it. I was gonna say, I'm like, you're rocking some epic volume today. It's amazing. Wait, is that the wrong one? Oh, it's 10.
This new deck you have, it corresponds with numbers.
Yeah, like you can, it has the whole index here, so I have to look it up and then I go to the page and I like reading the descriptions because I want to better understand like the intent that was put into the design of the card. And then you start to build your own intuitive awareness of like, what is the messaging that's coming through for you with these. So I'm practicing very much with this deck right now. 10 of staffs. So thanks for the patience. 10 of staffs, 193. And the art on it is just so beautiful. That's part of why I got it too. The artist from Mi Corazón Mexica is like amazing. There it is. Okay. So in the Maklatli Topili card, a man walks toward a nearby town, a collection of 10 staffs carried across his back. He is weighed down with his heavy burden, but he does not pause or rest. Rather, he carries on, for his goal is in sight. 5 of the staffs are, and I'm working on my pronunciation as well, Yutopili, flowering turquoise staffs, while the other 5 are Taltupili, the thorn-lined staff of the earth. The earth staff suggests the work, the suffering, and the sacrifice he has undertaken. The turquoise staffs suggest that his burden is not without its pleasures and the happiness he feels in the certainty that he is close to achieving his goal. Achiever energy. Remember, we had that over here. He wears a red cinta or headband, which suggests that he is a follower of the middle path and keeps sacred the teachings of the ancestors and the teteo. They have taught him the necessity of patience, hard work, and sacrifice in order to be in balance with Ometioto. A village lies before him. To his right are the village's houses of adobe with straw roofs. They are humble but clean, organized and well tended. Bunches of maize hang from the roof of the nearest house, suggesting plenty and freedom from want. So and this is me interjecting, like as they're describing this village of like humble, clean, well organized, there's abundant maize and food and freedom in this community. It's making me think of like providing for our communities, meeting basic needs, Green New Deal, all of that kind of stuff we were referencing a bit earlier with living wages.
Mentality.
Yeah. A maguey flowers before this house. The maguey provides all of the necessities of life: food, medicine, shelter, and clothing. Its flowers suggest poetry and art. Support those local artists as well. He labors, but through his labor, all his necessities are met. To his left is the village temple. It too is humble. It is small and made of adobe and wood. But it likewise is freshly painted and well tended. The home suggests the material things of life, while the temple, the spiritual. It is unclear where he has taken his burden. His collection of staffs could suggest work that will improve his life materially or spiritually. He labors alone. It's another energy with Sagittarius that they can comfortably go on their own and just take off. They're a traveler, that they can be at home wherever they go. It too is, he labors alone. This could suggest a different reading, that he does not know how to share or delegate responsibilities and will soon find himself worn out by his obligations. Or there's that, going it alone too much of the time and not having your support system, which is important. It asks the current to examine one's life and determine whether the burdens one has placed on oneself are truly sustainable. With the 10 of staffs, he reaches his goal and is soon to lay down his burden. He has perhaps taken on more than he had expected and is feeling enervated from work. Yet he knows that his labor has not been in vain. Material and spiritual succor are his rewards. It's a pretty validating, affirming, good energy reading that we just got.
Absolutely.
Which is so wonderful. I'm also feeling really just kind of optimistic and hopeful, but like a different kind of hope. Again, going back to that astrologer, Queer Cosmos, I love everything that he does, and he draws heavily from folks in like the social work field. He does strength-based, trauma-informed kind of work, and he's a nerd, so he's reading all of this like deep psychology while he's also sharing his knowledge of astrology. And he was talking about hope as like, it's not like you're just kind of blindly optimistic. It's like this deep work that's needed to actually be in a place where you can imagine possibilities that come from your daily investment in making it happen. So it's not just like a passive thing, like you're very much an active part of the process. And that's the kind of hope that I'm feeling right now. And that's why I feel really strongly about protecting our energies, really investing in the things that are actually reciprocating and giving back to us as well.
Is the news about your role in transition public yet or no?
Not yet.
Okay, so I won't say anything, but I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm also feeling that theme of like it's still going to be, it's work. Like all of these things are joyful and like, yay, like we've been working towards them. And it's like, and the work continues. And so it's like, how do we do that regeneratively, even beyond sustainably, regeneratively? And I really think kind of what you and I have been trying to build together, it's like you need the support network, you need the support system, you need other people that you can share your story with and who are willing to make space for it. Um, yeah.
Well, I just think those ways that we have felt over the last few years of being undervalued and disrespected, um, being women of color in these different spaces, I feel like there's got to be lots and lots of other women of color feeling the same way who try to organize in these spaces. And so by joining forces, we lessen the load and we remind each other that we're not alone and that we got this and we're hella talented, intelligent, and strong. Um, and there's no stopping us. We just got to kind of hold tight, right? And unite our forces.
Totally. I really believe that and I feel that. And I think that's what gives me hope and faith in the future. Also just for our kids. Like I need my support network and that helps me be more available, more present for my kid. My kid learns that healthy relationship. So based on like my relationships with my friends, you know, our kids pick up all of that stuff. And just like really examining what does it mean to be a part of a paradigm or a culture shift in this country, given how divided, and that's the narrative that we go back to, right? That we're so divided in this country, and we are. And at the same time, like there are forces that I feel like are pulling us together, like this kind of deep gravity. And a big part of it for me is the awakening to the fact that we should be spending most of our time and energy focused on healing the land, healing each other, healing ourselves.
Woo.
Um, yeah,
Well,
that's
because that trauma compounds generation through generation. So by us stopping the cycle and saying, no, we're not going to let it go any further, the ways that I have been taught to think about myself is not what I'm going to pass down to my daughter. Well, at
mm,
least not the negative parts, right? Yeah, so that's really important to me. Super important to me. Like to me, that's number one on my like priorities right now.
I hear that. I feel that. And on the other side of that, let's look at if we're drawing again from the wisdom of the sign of Sagittarius, they can be very serious, very scholarly, focused on the deep questions of life, and can be incredibly silly and light and open and expansive. They draw their energy from Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of luck. That's another vibe that's coming through.
Is that why you named your newsletter that? Lady Luck?
Well, that was like one of the pieces. I did a lot of channeling for the Buena Fortuna report, and this is just kind of my creative offering to the world. So I'll do like tarot stuff. I'm a big nerd, so I'll do poetry, riffing on like quantum physics and whatever. And I also do a lot of art. And I did my first one, and Ana Rosa was one of my first subscribers. So thank you so much for your love and support as always. And I did an article, Lady Luck, but kind of talking about luck as like recontextualizing luck a little bit so that it's not just something that can be used or objectified. And I was using that song like Luck Be a Lady. I was thinking about it, where he's, why can't you sit still? Why can't you behave? Why can't you be predictable and give me what I need? And I was like, no, is it luck or is it destiny? That's another force that I think comes through for me when we're having these conversations. It's like when you're in flow, the universe reveals itself to you. I have felt it in my life, and I know when I'm not in flow. I know when I'm not in alignment, and I go out of my way to kind of gaslight myself. Even I feel like we're conditioned to do that to ourselves a lot of the time, to not really honor what we're feeling in our bodies. And obviously capitalism is a huge huge force in kind of making people find a normal that is dehumanizing and is destroying the planet. So I'm just really reflecting on like, what is the reckoning for that? But at the same time, how do we keep our joy and our lightness and our humor in incredibly serious and urgent times? So I was just like going back and forth with like different polarities here, but I want to ask you, Anna, also like, what are you going to do to bring more joy and lightness into your life?
Well, last night I went swing dancing and I didn't realize how badly I needed that because I
Yeah.
haven't gone in a long time. So I'm gonna make myself go do some more swing dancing. Probably not as often as I would like, but still a little bit more than I've been doing it. Um, and I'm wearing my Lakers sweatshirt because um, I don't make time to play basketball or watch my Lakers, and I need to do that. Like just things that I know that bring me joy.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, those are two concrete things. And the third thing is I've been doing personal training and I've been like logging my meals and I've finally gotten consistent with it. So I want to stay on that track just for my health, not because I want to be a size 2 or anything.
Hell yeah. I'm so proud of you. That's inspiring to me because like I feel like we have this experience with our friends where we talk about like, well, I'm gonna, do this. I'm gonna start working out. Okay, we're gonna support each other. And then with Ana Rosa, she's been on track for a minute now. And I'm just like, I deserve that. It's not like it's about controlling myself, you know, this kind of control mentality of like, I need to be a size 2 or whatever, like you said. It's more like, this is how you free yourself, is by investing again that time into caring for yourself and doing things that make you feel lighter. So for me, I'm going to dance more for sure. Dancing has always been one of my favorite like releases and just ways of being lighter. And I also want to play more video games.
Hell yeah.
Okay. This is another thing that I've been sitting and reflecting on my relationship to video games, and I'm like, I'm a closet video game nerd, and I for some reason decided in my childhood that I was done with it and that I was a more serious person and that I wasn't going to be caught up in it or whatever. Like, since then I've played obviously like Smash Brothers with friends or whatever, but video games are really cool. And Easton is super into them. And I was playing Rayman Legends really hard. It's like a kid's game, but it's really hard. I kept dying all the time, but it was like really fun. Just like sitting with him and we get all excited when we get to the next level together. We got to help each other to get to the next level. I'm going to be playing more video games in 2022. That's probably the only resolution I have right now, but I'm cool with it.
Okay, so then my question is, are you going to make an island on Animal Crossing?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Step by step, Ana Rosa. I guess I gotta make an island on Animal Crossing. Oh my gosh. And I started a Twitch channel a long time ago. I don't even know what I was gonna do with it. I'm like, we should do a Twitch, me and Easton. He really wants to, we've been having a discussion with him because he really wants to start a YouTube channel. He's a hilarious
Yeah, he is.
little person. He's got so much attitude and just like,
And hella smart.
he's really smart. I love him. I would watch his show. So anyway, I'm his parent and I'm naturally still kind of like, I don't know about that. So we're going to set some ground rules. We're going to do a test run of it. But I like that he wants to channel his creativity and put himself out there. That makes me really proud of him. I want to do that with him.
Very cool. So we'll see you on Twitch in addition to Patreon.
I guess so. Yeah. Patreon is going to be where I'm going to house a lot of my content.
And our joint venture will be on Patreon too.
Yes, we're going to try out Patreon. I know some folks have mentioned like alternatives to Patreon, but it seems like kind of the more solid one, like platform for that kind of stuff right now. But I'm always open to switching if there's one that's more in line with our values, but we need to get started. I think that's what's more important to me is like, instead of getting caught up in all the details as to why I can't do something now, it's more like, you can start something. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just start it and you can pivot, you can adjust, all of that stuff can happen too.
Yeah, it won't be all at once, but bit by bit, we'll get there. I think
Totally.
that's what I wanna use my, winter break, of course, partly to rest because I
Mhm.
need that too, but for part of it is just us, starting to get going on the things that we need to set in motion.
Yes, I'm excited to really start the new year with some good creative energy and like goals. Like that I'm going to be a planner. Like I already have a planner, but to be perfectly honest, I don't have a system for it. I just kind of write random notes. I use it to kind of jog my memory. I'll write things just kind of like free flow, but I really want to have a more organized, more structured approach to like how I use my mental kind of time. Like I'm always sitting and thinking about stuff, but I don't think I capture it properly. So anyway, I'm really leaning into the Capricorn Virgo energy of like be organized, be a boss, make things happen. And I also want to free myself, and organizing myself allows myself to have more free time. It's the truth and I just got to do it.
Yeah. So if you're listening, we're encouraging you not necessarily to do the typical resolution setting for 2022, but think about what your goals are and what energy and intentions, right,
Yeah,
you want to bring into the new year.
heck yeah. I like that framing. Energy and intention. What is your energy and intention going to be for the new year? I want to be more relaxed. And that means taking time to be like, hey, I'm going to go on a solo trip or something. I've really been thinking about that more, especially for us moms, if we have a support system in place to make those choices, do it, you know? So Ana Rosa, you and I gotta have like a trip sometime in the spring, hopefully when you get your passport. And also just like spending more, yeah, like time out in nature by myself even. I think I want to try to do like a solo camping trip. Um, Obviously we'll do one together because I love that. But I think it's important for us to really spend time alone, but like in different places, not just like alone in our room for a few minutes to catch our breath, but like go off, have that hermit kind of space if you can, even if it's once a year, you know?
Yeah, something Chris Ragland from the Sea League has always encouraged is to just have a place in nature that you go when like it life is getting hard or you just need a place to think and have space. And for me, I used to really be good at going to the ocean whenever stuff got rough. But since becoming a mom, I feel like I have so much guilt attached to leaving the house for any reason.
Yeah.
And so I need to release that guilt because I know by me doing those things, it'll just make me a better mom.
And you know what I've taken to doing too is like, because I think even Easton, he would get little kids do this all the time. I'm always on the phone with like a mom friend. We're working, and her little kid's like getting upset because she's not paying attention to him. Easton's, jumping on my bed, like, hey, pay attention to me. We should be present with our kids when we can. And then when we do need to take that space and time away, explain to them what we're doing. Like I try to do that with Easton and be like, I love you. I want to spend time with you. And mommy needs space to be on her own, to organize her thoughts so she can be better and be more chill when we're hanging out together. Because I often have that where I'm like trying to watch a movie with Easton and I'm running through like a to-do list in
That's
my head. And I'm just like, that's not,
fair.
I don't, it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to Easton. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be more present.
Yeah, I catch myself doing that, unfortunately, really often. And the other thing that I have to do when I realize that is do two little checks is one, am I breathing? Because sometimes I realize I'm holding my breath. And the other two are my shoulders up. Like, can I just like let go my shoulders and like release the tension? Because that's why I always have huge knots in my shoulders because I'm just always carrying everything there.
Because you're like in backpack mode where the
Yes.
shoulders like this, you're like, oh, you're not breathing. That's too real. Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Like, chill, lady.
Oh, and scream, like go find your place in nature and just let one out. Like I even still, I even still struggle sometimes when I'm outside and just like letting my voice go. I still kind of hold myself back. I feel like I need to just push myself to just make the ugliest, weird, whatever sound is hiding in there, just let it out instead of being like, ah.
I feel like that's what I learned too with labor, right? Is like vocalizing with
Yes.
breath, right? Because that makes it so much easier. Um,
Mhm.
but also with the environmental leadership program that I was a part of, we did that like a primal scream, all of us together. And then some people even jumped into the ocean when it was like super cold. I didn't do that part, but I did do the primal scream part.
I love that. Go jump into a really cold body of water to shock your senses. There's a place we go to here in Mendocino called Big River Beach. And I did that a few weeks ago. I was like bracing myself, jumped in the water, and it felt like my, I don't know, like my hello, Easton. What's going on?
Where are my shoes?
Where are your shoes?
Good.
Say hello.
Good to
I
see you.
don't know. I think your shoes are in the other house, bub. They're not gonna be in here.
But they're not in our house.
Uh-oh.
What? Ah! Oh! Oh!
Are you okay?
My foot hurts. And mommy, can you bring me to the car so
Can you ask Daddy for help? I'm finishing up this wonderful conversation with Ana Rosa.
about what?
We were talking about being moms and like the things that we need to do so we can be better for our kids and be good people. Are you looking at the card? So anyway, what I was describing was jumping into the cold, icy river and just feeling like alive again, like where your senses like are more alert. You can really feel like your nerves, your nervous system, like all over your body instead of having that hunched energy where you're almost disassociating from your body or disconnecting from your body. And I often feel that. And I want to let go of that, want to be more embodied. That's another goal, I guess, for the new year. More embodied, energy and intention matter, and play more video games.
That all sounds great. Definitely watch you and Easton on Twitch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm excited to do that. He's funny. How's Gloria doing?
She's good. As you know, first grade has been really difficult for her. So um, I think it's just going from having school on Zoom last year and always having us with her to
Yeah.
now, like being in person, and also her teacher, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. We'll
Mm,
just say her kindergarten teacher was much more empathetic.
yeah.
So we'll just go with that. And so now what she got through that semester, and yesterday I took her to this really cute place that has like all non-toxic products and got her a fancy mani-pedi, and her nails look so cute and she was just so happy. So I think that that really livened up her spirit, and I could tell because on the way home we were blasting the music and we were both singing to the music, and she just feels more free because I feel like school just stresses her out a lot.
Oh my God. It starts so young, like with school. I remember that too. Gloria is amazing. That teacher better get her act together. My goodness. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's a big shift for her from going to from Zoom with y'all in the room there and then being there. And then they're everybody's wearing masks in the classroom, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. So that has not been, I mean, for sure at first I was super concerned about COVID protocols. So far for me, it's just been like we had a parent teacher conference and it was so weird. It felt like she was giving either like a Herbalife presentation or like if she was a stewardess or flight attendant and like giving the directions to where the emergency exits were, because there was zero emotion in her voice. And, I know it's hard because like teaching through a pandemic is not easy, but
Yeah.
still, like, she didn't even ask us if we had any questions when the parent teacher conference was over. It was just like, okay, we're done now. Like, okay, bye.
That sounds, yeah, that would be challenging for me. My goodness, that sounds disorienting. Gloria is super strong and amazing, and I'm glad she's feeling more light, more free. And I can't wait for the kids to play again.
Yeah.
Easton is really missing that. Like he, goes to school, and we have been setting up some like outdoor kind of play dates with, a few classmates or whatever here and there, but there nothing beats just being able to have like your community close and like anyway, I'm just thinking
When we
about
come
that.
down to LA, we gotta have their play dates, and then you and I gotta go dancing too.
There we go. That's it. It's gonna happen. I'm excited. I'm so excited. And we're gonna eat amazing food. That's the other thing I've been complaining a lot about while up north. I miss LA. The food is, there's no comparison to the diversity of options, and just like
And you missing that real Mexican food.
I'm missing the real Mexican food. I haven't had Ethiopian food in a long time. Been craving that.
Ethiopian food.
Really good sushi. Going to Little Tokyo. Birria is on my list, like highest on my list of like good birria.
That is the thing that I miss the most from eating meat, to be honest. Like, I really miss birria. Yeah, if I knew I wasn't gonna get sick, I might even try it just for like one, just
Yeah.
like indulge you, but I would get so sick because I no longer have the enzymes in my body to process that kind of food anymore.
I feel you. And there are some pretty cool like vegan birria recipes that I've heard of where they use like jackfruit or something.
Yeah, jackfruit's amazing. It substitutes for meat in a lot of great ways.
I love that food. What else are you excited to eat? Does your mom make something special that you're excited to get chow down on, or?
She makes so much good food. I mean, her lentejas, her chiles rellenos, her pozole, because she always makes me a little pot that's just vegetarian.
Mhm.
And her enfrijoladas are bomb, her enchiladas. I mean, I could go on and on.
That sounds amazing. Oh. To eating well, resting, finding our joy, reclaiming our power, just being our most brilliant, authentic selves, and allowing the universe to carry us forward towards success, and success meaning like if you're taking care of yourself and your family and you're finding time to really check in with every one of those needs of like physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, like that's success. It's not just about whatever checks in the mail, but that helps too. So manifest that money, get paid. Living wages, report living wages for everyone, please.
Whenever I start worrying about whether something can be done or not, I just think abundance and I like meditate on that word, and it helps to get out of that mind frame of
Yeah.
worry, because worry doesn't help you.
It doesn't. No, you're right. You're right. Abundance. Channel that abundance. And it makes me think of the House of Abundance. I love that show so much. I'm so sad it's over. And I'm watching Insecure right now too. So
Oh my God. I cannot wait till the next episode. What's gonna happen? I'm so
I
scared.
don't know. How many are left though? That's what I keep
5.
like doing.
5 or 4. Either 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay.
Because
I
she
love that
realized
show.
that he moved back to LA.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. Oh, did you see the thing with I don't want to do spoilers, but her dream kind of sequence with seeing Lawrence.
That was so bad.
I loved it. Oh, so good.
Well, and then the one with Condola afterwards, where they like meet at a taco shop or something.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good. So good. I also watched the Foundation series on Apple TV, very sci-fi, based on the books by Isaac Asimov. Amazing, really amazing sci-fi. If you want something to check out. It's kind of
I'm gonna look
nerdy.
for your recommendations. You've never disappointed me with those.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I like quality entertainment, you know, I like good storylines. I did hear, I heard somewhere that they were going to be making, was it Parable of the Sower?
What?
Some of the, they're starting, I'm like, you better be making that Octavia Butler stuff on this, hit the screens. Like, I need that in my life. So
Yes.
I'm excited for that. And then did you watch the show Cobra Kai on Netflix?
I so did.
It's so good. I didn't expect it to be so good, but we're invested and we're counting down. I think it's the end of December when the new season
Oh,
starts
I
up.
didn't know there was going to be a new season.
Yeah, I'm really
I'll be
excited.
looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the next season of You
Oh my gosh.
and the next season of Sex Education.
Okay, I couldn't get into that one. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just couldn't. It wasn't. I tried. It was. I need to try again though. And there's another show on Apple TV. It's based on Emily Dickinson's life, and it kind of explores like her queer identity. And I'm really excited to check that show out too.
Cool.
And of course, I have no privacy.
That's okay. I think we've done about an hour, so if you need to go with Easton, it's totally cool. You
I
should.
think it might be Eastern time. This has been, as always, a joy on Narosa. I love, it's just a space we can share together, and I can't wait till I can give you a hug and we can eat some delicious food in LA.
Can't wait till we announce our joint venture.
Yay. Yes, we're gonna be successful. We're gonna achieve great things. We're powerful people, and
And loving people with big hearts, which means
yes,
we have to win.
yes, agreed.
Sending you lots of kisses and hugs.
Besos, amor.
Y
Thank you all.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Be well.
Jess Alvarez Parfrey and Ana Rosa Rizo Centino. Looking forward to the next time.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Yay.